you have to kind of separate yourself from the things you can control and things you can't control, because worrying about things you can't control can easily cripple you. All right, Holly. Just kicking something. I want a second opinion or 20. I'm almost done with a 12-week session with my workouts and diet through my coach. I've been happy with the results, but recently started to feel a bit run down and beat up. We talked it through and determined that it's largely lack of recovery and poor sleep. Not surprising with the impending downsizing, picking up a second job. Restaurant work is harder than I remember. Starting my own LLC, good for you. Still applying and interviewing as much as possible. Still trying to figure out a way to get into the house I was looking at before work dropped the bomb on us. Dreading going to work each day now, and even with brain gains, the hamster wheel in my head at night does not stop with fear and worry. It's gotten to the point that I've even tried NyQuil a couple nights and it only kind of helped. You definitely don't want to get on that train. Otherwise, I'll go to bed and lay there for at least 2 hours thinking myself to death. Anyhow, I'm strongly considering taking a week off from the gym, not the diet, before starting another 12-week run, and wondered if anyone has thoughts on this. Has anyone taken a week away and had positive results, or was it harder to get back into workouts? Drop a comment if you want to weigh in. I love you, Swole fam. We love you. Well, I think that depends. There's nothing wrong with taking a week off. That might be arbitrary if you need physical recovery, but, you know, if you're up at night, there could be some other things that you can do before evening for your evening habits. Again, like you said, the brain gains, you can maybe have some tea, read in bed. Sometimes it's hard to shut the mind off. So getting better sleep, recovery is very important. Obviously, that goes hand in hand with sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you're not recovering well, just like you're not. Sleep is so essential. And it sounds like you got a lot going on. So you're working 2 jobs, you have your own business that you're starting up, you're doing interviews, you're stressed out, you got a lot of existential angst. So I would actually maybe even try doing some journaling, and you might be able to do this at night. Maybe you like kind of create this whole system, and you've probably heard this before. You write down 3 things you're grateful for, either in the morning or the evening. I find that writing stuff down, journaling, whether it's morning or evening, helps me get shit out of my fucking head. It helps me organize my thoughts, because a lot of times when they're up here, they just bounce around like a pinball. And if you leave them up there, they're just like bunk, 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 and they don't shut off. So if you get it out on paper, even if it's incoherent, you write it down like just a note style, and then maybe you write about it, how you feel about things. You kind of get it out on paper. That way it's not in your head. And it helps you look at what is really bothering you, or what is really something that you're working on, or that's challenging you objectively. If you see it on paper and you see it on just literally in black and white, you actually see what you're focusing on. Like, that's what I do to make sure I'm focusing on the right shit, because it's very easy for me to think about everything that I want to do. I'm thinking about the Procast. I'm thinking of the Daily Swole, Extra Thirsty, Nuts on Chin. I'm thinking about Swolenormous X. I'm thinking about a lot of stuff all the time. You can't think about that stuff all the time. There's no need to. I can't do it all the time. I can't do it all at the same time. So you have to kind of separate yourself from the things you can control and things you can't control, because worrying about things you can't control can easily cripple you. And that's a waste, because you can't do anything about it. So you have to really focus on the things that you can control. And that might be something to get started, is to draw like maybe a little table. What can I, like, what's everything on my mind? What can I control? Like, what can I do right now? You know, what can I do right now? What can I actually do to move myself forward? Like, what can I do today? And that's why the 7 pillars are important, because what can you do? Well, you can focus on your community, what you're listening to, who you're talking to, who you're spending time with. You can focus on, you can handle that on a day-to-day. How's your nutrition? You can focus on eating quality foods and doing stuff day-to-day, training, recovery, mobility, meditation. You can hammer those things every day. So even if you don't have the best workout, like, you can still take care of your 7 pillars and you can still move forward, because it's about being consistent overall. And it's about building on those habits and building on that foundation day after day. And overall, you're going to have wins. You're going to win long term. It's just about giving yourself that opportunity every day. So whether or not you need a week off, I mean, that's totally reasonable. It might not be necessary, but it could be related. It could help. You might feel like, you know, creating a couple simple habits might, you know, override the need for you to take physical time off, but maybe just do yoga. What about yoga? Maybe just the overload. It could be the overload aspect of it, the tension, resistance training. A lot of times that could be very physiologically stressful. So you can shift, maybe focus on your nutrition and do yoga instead of lifting weights. That's totally fine. I wouldn't say just do nothing. I think movement and mobility is going to still be essential. I would focus on yoga. That's totally cool. That's my thought on it.